Okay, this says that I am live. I have not gone live in a really long time. I also haven't made a video in a while. But I wanted to pop on to answer a question that I got on Instagram. Sometimes I get questions, and I usually just respond to that person. But I decided that maybe it would be a good idea to try to share that question. And if you guys have questions, please comment them. Again, I haven't gone live in a while, but I know that right now it's really hard to cox. I don't know if you guys are coxing at all or what's going on with your program, but I'm just going to hop into it so I don't waste time. But yeah, I got a question on my Instagram that is about steering fours. Basically, this question says, I was wondering if you had any tips or advice for steering a bow-loaded four that has inconsistent pressure. I try to make small adjustments, but the inconsistency completely throws any adjustments I make. I've been working with the rowers and the coach to sort through it, but having to be on the rudder a lot isn't helping them. I tried to clarify if that was because one side is more powerful than the other, or if it's just inconsistency of the whole four. And she kind of said both. Mostly is that they will match pressure for a couple strokes, but then it'll fall to one side, outpowering the other. My advice for this, there's a couple different things you can do if you're in this position. If you're steering a boat, doesn't have to be a four, but fours are trickier. They're harder to make evenly matched for coaches, so you're more likely to have a mismatched pressure boat when you're in a four. First and foremost, you can let your coach know. Usually coaches would want to know, especially if you're in the top boat. If you're feeling that one side is outpowering the other, you can let your coach know, and they're going to probably try to fix that and not keep putting out boats. They do their best to evenly match port and starboard, but sometimes you just can't help it. You're going to be in a four, whether that's because of the size of your program, the depth, or you might just be coxing not a good four that day. Sometimes that happens. I've been there too. And you're just going to be in a boat that is not well matched. If that's the case, if there's nothing you can do about it and you're in this boat, the issues are, for one side outpowering the other, are probably going to be either actual physical strength, one side outpowering the other, or motivation. Sometimes people are actually really strong, and then the coach puts them in the boat because they think they're going to be evenly matched, but they're really not motivated when they're on the water. Or some people are really motivated on the water, but they don't pull on the erg. So it just doesn't work out the same way on the water. If the issue is motivation, and you're noticing that you will try to say, hey, starboards give up a power 10, and they bring up that pressure, and now you're evenly matched and it's working, and then they fall off. How can you motivate one side to pick up their pressure? I would think that you would want to focus maybe a little more specifically on consistency. And to do that, you really want to try to engage the rowers. And this is true of any boat that you're coxing, really. If you're feeling a drop in pressure, try to re-engage them. Try to give them something to focus on. Focusing on the heels down. Like, let's focus on that. Let's focus on getting those knees to deck really fast. Let's focus on the body swing. Let's focus on ratio. Let's focus on rhythm. Give them something to consistently keep their brain engaged on what they're doing, and just keep bringing the focus back to that. That's really the only thing you can do to motivate a rower. You can't just give them motivation to want to be stronger, but you can bring their focus and kind of motivate each stroke, focus on each stroke, motivate each stroke. And you want to do that calmly. Um, it also depends on what the piece is. Or is it a warm up? Is it a steady state? Is it um, a race piece? Those are going to matter too as to how you handle this. If the issue is not motivation, if it is purely just that one side is stronger than the other, and no matter how much you really try to rally that one side, it's not going to make a difference, then I think you need to assess if, what kind of piece you are doing. And you're going to make your decision based on that. If it's a warm up or even steady state, you're going to want to try to match their pressure as evenly as possible, even if that means calling one side down a little bit. That might be the case if it's a warm up, right? And that might say like, hey, I need even pressure from you guys. So starboards, I need you guys to give me just a little bit more. Ports, I need you to just ease off just a little bit. That's going to maybe even out your pressure. Because ultimately your goal is to steer straight without making them, I don't know, stop pulling. Like, I don't want to lead you guys down the path of saying, hey, if y'all just stop pressing, then we'll be evenly matched. But if it's a warm up, and sometimes people just go gung ho on the warm up and they're like, I'm going to go super strong. You're like, hey, focus on technique, drop your pressure a little bit. I have done that. And you want to bring up the other one, and you want to let them know subtly without trying to shame one side. Like, hey, like, I need you guys to have even pressure. Right now I'm getting a little more pressure from port side. So starboards, I need you guys to pick it up a little bit. Ports, maybe just relax, try to match starboards. And you're going to try to say that in a way that's as if you're talking to the whole boat and getting you guys to work together. And then, though, that's my advice in terms of commands. And when it's going to really come down to secondary to commands, what you're going to do for steering, steer straight. Just steer straight. It doesn't matter that you're on rudder. You have to steer straight. Don't think, well, I can't be on rudder. I'll just take this really long course. No, steer straight. If you're in a piece, don't tell one side to lighten up. Don't do that. Just be on rudder. You're going to have to. And ultimately, you're going to do more damage if you are not steering straight, or taking a course like this, than if you just are on rudder and steering them straight. Again, you're going to have to talk with your coach and rowers, primarily the coach first, about the fact that it's not an evenly matched boat. But once that's understood, you're just going to have to do the best you can with what you have, and you're going to steer straight, even if that means being on rudder. You're going to give them focused commands to try to get that side to pressure up and match the other side. And you're going to do your best to steer straight. That's all you can do. Another thing that you can do is have kind of precise, impactful, planned moves that adjust course. Okay. What that might mean is, say you're pretty much steering straight, but you're starting to drift a little bit, right? And you want to adjust your course. Instead of telling starboards over and over and over and over and over again, pressure up, guys, pressure up, match ports, pressure up, and they're going to tune you out. Ask for something specific. Say, starboards, I need a power 3. And that's going to adjust your course. And now you are maybe going straight. And now you're on your point again. This is particularly useful during warm-ups and steady state, where it's okay if your course is going to venture a little bit, because ultimately, think about the priority here. The priority in a warm-up is getting them matched up, getting their bodies moving, working out. And the goal for steady state, similar, right? Where it's okay if you kind of do this thing where you're like over this and then you adjust like this. And you're not necessarily serpentining, but think about it that way. Think about where you need your point to be, to where you're starting to drift and you're going to say, okay, starboards, I need a power 3. And that gets you pointed the right way. Think about it like that. And you can ask the other side to power down for 3. That's another way. Like if you feel like you are continually asking one side to pressure up, if it's annoying for you to keep saying, it's annoying for them to keep hearing. And they're going to start to feel bad. That is not a confidence boost. They're going to get annoyed and they're going to be like, I'm trying as hard as I can. It's not. If you can give them a break during warm up, during a steady state piece, and say, port's going to lighten up just a little bit for 5 strokes, for 2 strokes, just so you can adjust your point, do that. So that's all I have. Advice-wise, if you are having a boat outpower one side or the other, 3 things you can do. 1, talk to your coach so it doesn't keep happening, or at least they're aware of what's going on in the boat. 2 is going to be your actual physical steering, and 3 is going to be the commands and the way that you focus on things that can keep them engaged. I'm actually going to pop off of live, I think, and come back with another question, just so that these save differently. So I'm going to be back in just a minute. If you have questions, please feel free to comment.